Lotus Emeya. The Lotus Emeya is one of those cars that does not simply arrive in the market, it makes a statement, and a very bold one at that. In the long history of Lotus, a brand associated with lightweight sports cars, precision handling, and a unique philosophy of simplifying, then adding lightness, the Emeya represents a giant leap into a new era. This is not the Lotus of old, restricted to niche sports cars loved by purists but ignored by the broader market. Instead, the Emeya is a flagship electric hyper GT that shows the company's ambition to step firmly into the future of high-performance electric mobility. When you first look at the Lotus Emeya, the sense of design direction is immediately apparent. The car has the low, wide stance you would expect from a performance-focused machine, but what makes it fascinating is the way Lotus has blended traditional cues of its design philosophy with futuristic elements that reflect its electric nature. The lines are sleek yet muscular, with aerodynamic efficiency clearly playing a huge role in the overall design. The sharp headlights, the flowing roofline, and the active aerodynamic components are not just for show, they are engineered to keep the car stable at high speeds and efficient over long journeys. Lotus has not been in the business of building large GT cars for decades, and yet here we are, looking at a vehicle that is poised to compete with the likes of the Porsche Taycan, Tesla Model S Plaid, and even upcoming electric GTs from Ferrari and Lamborghini. The Emeya is not just about looking futuristic, it's about redefining what a Lotus can be. Traditionally, Lotus cars like the Elise, Exige, and Evora were all about being small, lightweight, and mechanically pure. They didn't worry too much about luxury interiors, high-end tech, or long-distance comfort. Those cars were raw, visceral experiences. The Emeya, however, flips that script completely while still staying true to the essence of driving engagement. Lotus has carefully ensured that even though this is a luxury electric GT, it still feels like a Lotus should, connected, alive, and thrilling. This is something very important, because when a brand moves into uncharted territory, the biggest risk is losing its identity. For Lotus, the Emeya is both a rebirth and a reassurance to its fans. Underneath, the Emeya rides on the same electric premium architecture platform that also underpins the Lotus Eletre SUV, but in this case, it has been fine-tuned for a more driver-focused experience. The architecture is designed to accommodate large battery packs, dual motor setups, and advanced software systems, which means the Emeya can combine blistering performance with the everyday usability expected from a Grand Tourer. And make no mistake, performance is at the heart of this car. Depending on the configuration, the Emeya can deliver upwards of 900 horsepower, allowing it to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in under 3 seconds. That kind of acceleration puts it right in line with some of the fastest EVs in the world, but where Lotus differentiates itself is in handling. This is a brand built on decades of expertise in chassis dynamics, and all of that know-how has gone into making sure that despite its size and weight, the Emeya feels nimble and responsive. Adaptive suspension, active aero, torque vectoring, and advanced steering calibration all combine to give the driver confidence and control that you wouldn't normally expect in a car of this category. Step inside the Emeya, and you immediately realize that Lotus is playing at a level it hasn't played at before. The cabin is a masterpiece of modern design, blending high-quality sustainable materials with cutting-edge technology. Everything feels premium yet purposeful. The driver sits in a cockpit-like position, with a minimalist dashboard dominated by a wide central screen and augmented reality displays. Unlike older Lotus models that were Spartan and bare-bones, the Emeya offers heated and ventilated seats, premium audio systems, ambient lighting, and all the luxury touches you would expect in a high-end GT. Yet, despite all the comfort and convenience, the driver still feels at the center of the experience. Lotus has ensured that all controls are intuitive, visibility is excellent, and the sense of connection with the road is not lost in the pursuit of luxury. Technology plays a huge role in the Emeya. The car features one of the most advanced infotainment systems Lotus has ever created, with ultra-fast processors, seamless connectivity, and over-the-air updates that ensure the car gets better over time. The system is designed to be responsive and minimalistic, reducing clutter and distraction, so drivers can focus more on the road. Then there's the suite of driver assistance systems, which include everything from adaptive cruise control to lane keeping and even autonomous driving functions in certain scenarios. This is not the old-school, analog Lotus some enthusiasts might remember, but a modern machine designed to compete head-to-head with the best in the industry. Charging and range are, of course, critical for any EV, and the Emeya does not disappoint. With ultra-fast charging capability that allows it to recover significant range in just a few minutes, the car is built for long-distance touring. Lotus has made sure that range anxiety is minimized by equipping the car with a large capacity battery that can provide over 300 miles of real-world driving range. But more importantly, the charging infrastructure partnerships Lotus has been working on will make owning an Emeya not just about performance but also about practicality. Imagine driving a car that can go toe-to-toe with supercars on performance yet can also serve as a comfortable, long-distance cruiser with quick charging stops along the way. That is the promise of the Emeya. But perhaps what makes this car so fascinating is the broader story of Lotus itself. For decades, Lotus was a small, struggling manufacturer that produced niche cars loved by enthusiasts but never truly sustainable as a business. Then came Geely, the Chinese automotive giant that now owns Lotus, and with that ownership came fresh investment, global ambition, and a bold new vision. The Emeya is a direct result of this transformation. It is a car that could not have existed in the old Lotus world, yet it carries the DNA of the brand into a future that demands electrification, luxury, and scale. In many ways, the Emeya is not just a car, it's a statement of survival and reinvention. Of course, with such a leap forward, there will always be debates. Purists will argue that Lotus has lost its way, that this big, heavy electric GT has nothing in common with the featherweight Elise or the track-ready Exige. And to some extent, they have a point. The Emeya is heavier, larger, and far more complex than any Lotus before it. But to judge it solely on that basis would be to miss the bigger picture. The world has changed, the automotive industry has changed, and Lotus has chosen not to be left behind. Instead, it has chosen to lead in a new category, using its expertise in dynamics to deliver an electric GT that feels truly special. And in doing so, it opens the brand up to a whole new audience, buyers who might never have considered a Lotus before, but who now see it as a viable alternative to Porsche, Tesla, and other luxury EV makers. When you talk about the Lotus Emeya, you cannot ignore the level of detail that has gone into its aerodynamics. Lotus has always been obsessed with airflow, downforce, and balance, and that philosophy remains intact here, only elevated with modern technology. The Emeya features active aerodynamic elements, such as an adaptive rear spoiler, a dynamic front grille that opens and closes depending on cooling needs, and an underbody designed to smooth airflow and reduce drag. These are not gimmicks but carefully engineered features that serve a purpose. At high speeds, the active aero components can increase stability by generating additional downforce, while at cruising speeds, they optimize efficiency to maximize range. This dual nature makes the Emeya not just fast but also intelligent, adapting to the driver's style and conditions on the road. The suspension system of the Emeya deserves its own spotlight. This is not a traditional setup but an advanced adaptive air suspension that can adjust itself in milliseconds to road conditions. Sensors constantly monitor the road surface, and the car reacts almost instantly, giving the driver both comfort and precision. On a smooth highway, the suspension softens to glide effortlessly, soaking up imperfections, while on twisty roads, it firms up to provide that sharp, connected feel Lotus is famous for. It's a clever balance between GT luxury and sports car sharpness, one that very few manufacturers have truly nailed. The beauty here is that Lotus seems to have transferred its decades of suspension tuning knowledge from lightweight cars into this new electric heavyweight, proving that DNA can evolve without being lost. Another fascinating aspect of the Emeya is its braking system. With such a powerful electric drivetrain, regenerative braking plays a big role in efficiency, allowing the car to recapture energy and extend range. However, Lotus hasn't simply left it at that. The physical brakes themselves are state-of-the-art, with massive carbon ceramic discs available for those who want the ultimate stopping power. The transition between regenerative and mechanical braking is seamless, giving the driver confidence and precision under all circumstances. This is especially important in a high-performance EV, because inconsistent or grabby braking can ruin the driving experience. With the Emeya, Lotus has ensured that the stopping power matches the astonishing acceleration, making the whole package feel balanced and safe. Driving engagement is about more than just speed and numbers, it's about how the car makes you feel. And here's where the Emeya truly shines. Despite being an electric GT with all the modern luxuries and assist systems, it still communicates with the driver. The steering is direct, sharp, and alive, with just the right amount of feedback. The chassis feels composed yet playful, giving the driver confidence to push harder without fear of losing control. It's a car that rewards skill but also protects you with layers of safety and intelligence. That's a rare blend, and it's one of the reasons why the Emeya is so exciting. It's not just another electric GT, it's one designed with soul, crafted to deliver emotion behind the wheel. Sound is another area where the Emeya breaks new ground for Lotus. In traditional combustion engine cars, sound came from the engine and exhaust, giving character and drama. With EVs, that sound is largely gone, but Lotus has approached this differently. Instead of leaving silence or adding generic artificial noise, the Emeya has a carefully tuned soundscape developed to enhance the driving experience. It's subtle, futuristic, and layered, designed not to imitate an engine but to create a sense of speed and connection. At low speeds, it's calm and refined, while under hard acceleration, the car produces a thrilling, almost spaceship-like tone that reinforces the sense of performance. This emotional layer ensures that driving the Emeya doesn't feel sterile but instead becomes immersive, with every input enhanced by carefully designed audio feedback. On top of that, the premium audio system inside the car is nothing short of extraordinary. Lotus partnered with some of the best in the industry to deliver a high-fidelity sound system that transforms the cabin into a concert hall. Whether you're cruising on a long road trip or sitting in traffic, the Emeya ensures the experience feels special, wrapping you in luxury while still reminding you it's a driver's machine at heart.